right, welcome to the Extra Point Podcast. You can see my name on the bottom, Timothy Lindsay. This is
I am Travis Pelton, and this is the very first episode of the Extra Point Podcast.
Now we need to have some of those, like, you know how TV shows and sitcoms have like the laughing noises or like the applause noises? We should have that lined up. That's great. Okay, so what should we talk about first? Because just so everyone knows, we're free balling every episode. So basically, we're prepared. Like we're fans, so we know everything pretty much. But at the same time, we don't have a talk sheet. We just have the statistics in our mind. We have the highlights in our mind. We have no, what do you call the you know how on like ESPN?
Script.
Yeah, we have no script. We have no graphics. All he has is sweetness in the background. All I have is Kip and Uncle Rico eating steak before Uncle Rico, absolutely rips the steak at Napoleon, who's riding on Pedro's bike. We can talk about that movie all day long. What should we talk about? NFL? NFL season's coming up, pretty much.
Yeah. Preseason number one. Week number one.
Yeah, it's the first preseason with only 3 games. 3 games, which is, in my eyes, I'm fine with. Like, I think, like, we can talk about the 17 games all season long, but the 3 preseason games I'm a fan of because, like, players, again, my Packers, for those who don't see my shirt, can they see my shirt? Aaron Rodgers is a Jedi Knight, Jedi Master. But like in 2015, I remember Jordy Nelson tearing his ACL against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the preseason. And like, again, that stuff can happen because it's the first quarter. I think it was probably the first drive of the game. So it's like that injuries happen, but at the same time, they're meaningless games. Like, it's one thing if you get injured in week 15 in a do or die game. But like postseason or the preseason, I don't know. I'm happy they brought that down. I don't know how you feel.
I definitely, I'm happy that they brought it down. I think 3. We'll see how 3 goes. I think 3 is going to be good. I mean, we experienced the 0 last year. That was tough on people. But I do think 4 is too much to the point where, like, it's just an extra week that we don't need for preseason football. I think the 17-week season is going to be fantastic for all of us.
Yeah. For all the fans, I think all the players are like, I know Aaron Rodgers was not, amongst many other veterans, are not happy about the 17 games. Football is the most vicious sport out there. And it puts it takes a toll on everyone's bodies, especially Andy Reid's eating all the cheeseburgers. But like, these guys go through so much, and I know they love football and they love it very much, but to a certain extent, you take all those hits. I mean, linebackers who, Bobby Wagner, Darius Leonard, whoever, make 15 tackles a game, guys like Mahomes, Rodgers, throw the ball 30 to 40 times a game.
It gets taxing on their arms, gets taxing on the bodies.
It's great for us because we love football and we want to see teams win, and it's the best sport. But at the same time, they're human beings too, obviously, and they're the ones who hold all the power, hold the cards. So I completely see, like, their point of view, like, hey, this, like, let's 17 games is. I agree with the preseason. Bring that down. I'm all for more football, though, a longer football season, because, like, how long is the off season? How long is it?
It's
so counting like late July. Training camps start like July 26th or whatever. So like
and the Super Bowl's first week of February.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I guess like 6 months. Throw in the draft, or I don't know, like 6 or it's like 6 months probably around that.
Yeah.
But like, think about like the NBA offseason. The season ends early June, July, August, September. Season starts back up in October. MLB is a little longer. Season ends, if we're lucky, we get Game 7 in November. But November, their winter meetings in December, but January, February, spring training starts late February, early March. So that's a little bit of a longer one, but still, I mean, the NFL, it's a long offseason. they deserve it. I mean, they all the players go through so much, and they deserve the rest too for sure. Especially if you're coming off an MVP season. But anyway, so with that in mind, standings. Should we predict the standings
Yeah,
for the upcoming
absolutely.
season? So let's start. You want to start in the AFC again? Once again, we're free balling, so I'm going to look at my phone here. Let's check out the standings or the schedule. So
you want to do the AFC North first?
yeah. We don't even have to look up the schedule. Just kidding. We probably should. So right off the bat, I think we're all going to pick the Buffalo Bills. I just think, I mean, how do you not pick the Buffalo Bills? I mean,
the AFC North. I just said.
You just said the AFC North?
Yeah. You went East right away.
Great start. This is why it's only episode 1. We're going to warm up. We're going to warm up. Okay, AFC North.
AFC North. Which is probably the hardest to predict with, I mean, three of the toughest teams in there. You got the Steelers, you got the Ravens, and then you got the Browns, and then you got the Bengals. But I think we can all project the Bengals in 4th.
I thought you were going to say I think we can all predict the Bengals in first place. Look, okay. No. I think the Browns. I picked the Browns to win the North. I don't know how you feel about that.
I think they have the best shot.
I do too.
I think with their defensive prowess, and then you get Odell back, and
they got Jadeveon Clowney.
Yes, they got Jadeveon in the defense.
They're balanced too. Look, okay. You know, why not the Baltimore Ravens? People are going to comment that probably. The 5 people that watch this. No, but like Lamar Jackson certainly had the best throwing season of his career. I think he threw 38 touchdowns or something last year.
Yeah,
he's getting better as a thrower. There's no question. He's not a bad thrower of the football, but he's so mobile. He is the next Michael Vick. Everyone knows his legs are his best weapon. And look, it's one thing to stop him. It's one thing that's a totally different thing. But like people know he's going to run the ball eventually at some point. The offense, the Ravens offense, predicated on running the football. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Lamar Jackson, and they drafted Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota, so they're clearly trying to help up the ante in the receiving corps with him and Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, probably someone else I'm forgetting. But they're certainly trying to, again, explode the passing game a little bit. The defense is solid. There's no question about that.
Defense has always been solid. That's
Baltimore Ravens. But again, they are a solid team, and they're going to be a playoff team. People are saying like, oh, Lamar Jackson, and this is going to be the next Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, this is going to be the next Peyton Manning, Tom Brady thing. I see it from the perspective that Tom Brady kind of whooped Peyton's arse, for a little. I mean, I think Tom was 11-6 against Peyton, so Tom certainly got the better. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to win way more than Lamar Jackson in that series. I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but I think that the Ravens are they're a good team. John Harbaugh is a Super Bowl winning coach. They are a good team. But I don't think in terms of the AFC North, I think the Browns are more complete. I think the play calling, Stefanski coming in his first year certainly changed it all around. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb just got the contract extension. Baker Mayfield's getting better and better. Yeah, I mean they have a team. And again, Baltimore, they'll be a playoff team. They're going to make a wild card spot, especially with the extra wild card spot. It's not like they're going to be terrible. They're going to be a good team. They'll probably win 10 or 11 games. I think it's interesting to watch. Yeah, you go.
The other team, the Steelers, I mean, that's another team that, depending on the health of Big Ben, I mean, how well can he throw the football? I mean, the defense has been there.
They can carry him.
If you look at their schedule from last year, I mean, they got kind of hosed towards the middle, towards the end, with their schedule when they got pushed back with the Ravens game. because
Yeah.
half the Ravens were out with COVID, and then they had the short week and then even shorter week, and so they just played a lot of games right in a
Yeah.
row. So you
Yeah.
gotta play that in a factor.
Yeah.
Um,
The defense is very good. It's certainly, I think you can make a case they could be top 5. I think they're very TJ Watt, Cam Hayward. They bring in Melvin Ingram from the Chargers.
Rico Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick. I think Joe Hayden's pretty solid. They have a squad on defense. Offense, okay. Juju is good. Claypool is certainly a stud. I was very PO'd that the Packers did not draft him. You can only imagine my frustration on draft night. Of course, picking Jordan Love, but that's in the past. I mean, who do they? Najee Harris. That guy is going to be a fantasy. He's going to be a fan. I wouldn't call him an RB1 in fantasy, but whoever gets him, like if you get him in the later rounds, he's going to be the bell cow. He's going to be the guy. So, I mean that was a great draft pick.
And you're not one that normally likes the rookies either.
No. Okay. While we're on this, fantasy people out there who are watching this, I stay away from people or athletes. I stay away from players who are coming off injured seasons, like a McCaffrey. I can't think of any other names right now.
Dak Prescott.
I stay away from rookies. But the Steelers, James Conner is gone. Benny Snell is kind of like Benny Snell's is there now. He is a young running back from Kentucky. He's been there a few years. He's good. He is a solid back. He's not a starter though. He is more of a Jamal Williams type. He's more of a backup. Najee Harris, if you saw his highlights at Alabama, watch him. The guy is a freak. He's an athlete, a stud. I mean, everything. And he'll be the bell cow. Take him. All right. Yeah. Take him if you have a chance. So they'll have a running game. The offensive line, though.
That's the one big question mark.
Who did they lost? They lost Villanueva. They lose Matt Filer. Maybe he's still there. I don't know. Pouncey. Pouncey retired.
Pouncey's gone. Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely forgetting some guys here, but they are hurting on the offensive line. Like they had to do some big time they had to make some big time adjustments there. I don't see them. Who knows if even like the stupid, like the Juju, Claypool, like the dumb TikTok dances. I know that was kind of a thing last year. I'm not going to say it was a big, just distraction.
I don't think that was what hurt the team.
Yeah.
I mean, Juju going out and doing some dances before the game is not going to make or break a game.
It definitely pissed off the other team, though. I think it definitely added something to it. Again, yeah, you're right. That's not what can happen. They just kind of lost their steam, but they got to focus on playing the game. And Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches of this era. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. If you think Mike Tomlin's not a Hall of Fame coach, GTFO. He is a fantastic coach, and he is a very tough-minded coach. He's gonna just kind of shut that all up. Like if there's any distractions whatsoever,
he's never had a losing season.
No, he hasn't. Even with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph manning the show. So we'll see with Pittsburgh. I don't think they're going to win the division. They're certainly going to be, formidable. I'll say that. That's my word for them. Cincinnati, I think again, they're just starting. They're kind of starting to warm up. The offensive line is still a little bit of a question mark, but they have weapons. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. I actually don't really understand. Like, I know Joe Mixon is a good running back. I don't understand the hype quite yet, though. I'm still waiting for him to kind of explode.
He gets injured way too much, It feels like.
Yeah.
He's just not out there enough to show us everything that he can do. Now he's shown in spurts. He's definitely shown in spurts where, he's shown Joe Mixon, I am the guy. But at the same time, you can't really – if you can't rely on him, how are you gonna base your foundation off of him?
Yeah, I know the defense is a little bit – they got Trey Hendrickson, who had a career year for the Saints last year. I think he had like 10 or 12 sacks. think they got Von Bell. They got Von Bell from the Saints as well. They made some adjustments. They made some draft picks. So they're a work in progress. They're just a young team trying to get better and better. Should we move to the AFC East finally?
Yeah.
Okay. So Buffalo Bills. Look, the Buffalo Bills are one of the 4 best teams in the league. I think we can agree with that. Josh Allen, second in the MVP last year behind yours truly. But Josh Allen's a stud, man. I was thinking about who are my top 5 quarterbacks going into the season this year. And I have Rodgers 1, Mahomes 2. I was deciding between Russell Wilson and Josh Allen. I just think Josh Allen last year, dude, like he can throw 60
I think
yards.
He's number 3.
Yeah, so 60-yard bombs left and right. Stephon Diggs, big time acquisition. He wanted to get out of Minnesota. He did, and he played like someone who was happy and went off. Cole Beasley was a great number 2. Pretty sure Cole Beasley got some All-Pro votes.
Yeah.
You got who am I trying? I'm thinking of someone. So, okay, the running back situation is probably the only issue for me.
That's the only question mark. They could not run the football consistently last year, and that's what hurt them.
They had Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. And Devin Singletary, I had Devin Singletary in fantasy, and he had some good games for me, no question about it. But they just need someone. They need someone to step up. Like, I'm all for a team sharing carries or for running backs sharing carries if that's the recipe to success. They need someone to be like the Aaron Jones though, and AJ Dillon, using a Packer reference, obviously. But they need like a 75%, 25%. They need someone who's taking the bulk of the carries. They need someone who's going to come in on third down or something once in a while and make it happen. Got to be reliable running the game. You don't want Josh Allen to have elbow surgery like Big Ben because he's throwing the ball so much. Got to run the football, especially, in a division with a couple good defensive coaches. We all know Belichick is probably the greatest defensive coach ever. Brian Flores, one of his disciples, coaching in Miami, great defensive coach. Yeah. The Jets, Robert Saleh, fantastic coach with the Niners. So, like, they'll be ready, and they know Josh Allen throws the football pretty damn well. You might as well just start running the football now, or at least get ready for it, because they're going to need to be strong in that area. Yeah. But no question, Bills winning the division. I don't know. Should I even ask? Dare I ask how you feel?
I think the AFC East is going to come down to how it was last year. It's going to be Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and then Jets. All in all, I think that's how it's going to run down again.
I think it's exciting to watch. The Jets are kind of like the Bengals in a way. They're just kind of reloading or whatever. They got what's his name? Zach something from BYU. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Zach Wilson. Yeah. The Patriots are interesting because it's Cam Newton did not have the best year. What didn't he have like double-digit rushing touchdowns or something? Or I'm trying to remember. He had a lot. He ran the ball.
And they're saying that his arm is actually getting back to full strength again. And he's not just throwing it into the ground anymore. So
yeah.
If that's a sign, you never know.
I believe it. Yeah. Yeah. If it doesn't work out and what's his name? Cam. No, not Cam, from Alabama, quarterback from Alabama. I always think it's a Cam. This is what happens when you free ball episodes.
Mac Jones.
I don't know why I think it's Cam. But if Mac Jones does not work out, this man behind me can always step in and take the reins in New England. But look, I'm interested to see what happens with Mac Jones. All kidding aside, I think Mac Jones has some potential. I think it was funny. I posted a video on the Extra Point Instagram account of after they drafted Mac Jones. It's the scene in Return of the Jedi when all the stormtroopers, all the ships in the Death Star are lining up for the Emperor's arrival. And like he's coming out of the ship or whatever, and like that. And then the caption was like, "Oh, Bill Belichick after draft night." Like, because that's exactly what he wanted. He got his guy. But in terms of Cam Newton, another year with Josh McDaniels. You get
Yep.
weapons. Chargers. I know he just got hurt today, but Hunter Henry, hopefully he can get. I think he's going to miss a few weeks, but if he can get healthy, him, Jonnu Smith, Kendrick Bourne from the Niners. Who did they get? Was it from Philly? They draft. It was another free ball. Let's get the phone out.
Yep.
Patriots wide receivers. Wes Welker. Nelson Aguilar. That's who it was. Aguilar.
Yes.
And then we'll see what happens with N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry's there. Who knows if they can get that thing figured out. But they made some free agent acquisitions. Another year for Cam Newton. All the defensive starters are going to be back.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know with that defense. They could certainly push for a wild card. I certainly believe that. I think Miami's interesting because
it all depends on how Tua is.
I don't know if he's the real deal. I don't. They kind of blew it last year. They were the AFC equivalent of the Arizona Cardinals. They had a chance to go to the playoffs. I think they were sitting at 9 I think they had to win one of their last 2 games and they lost both or something. I don't know. They had a chance to go to the playoffs, and they're like do or die game against the Bills. They got absolutely crushed.
Yeah.
They have pieces. They got Will Fuller. All right, they got Will Fuller. They got Devontae Parker. Gesicki seems like an up-and-coming tight end. The defense is good under Brian Flores. That'll be an interesting, battle between the Patriots and the Dolphins for number 2 and possibly a wild card spot.
Yeah, I think that's going to be – I mean, and they also picked up Jalen Waddle in the draft.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Yeah.
So getting that together, that's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's all going to – I mean, I can't say it's too early to tell because we're coming into the season, but at the same time, it's still a little early to tell because we haven't seen an actual game yet. So
I'm excited. I mean, that could be that could be the most interesting. This is kind of weird, but like the 2 middle teams in the division, like because we know the Bills are going to win the division. We know the Jets are the bottom feeders. Interesting, those 2 middle teams. We'll talk about the NFC West because the 3 that's division is stacked, but the 2 middle teams, going to be interesting to see. AFC South. Should we do the AFC South?
Yep. What's your thoughts?
Think the Jacksonville Jaguars I think they are the most likely candidate to go from worst to first. They're not going to do it, I don't think, but I think they are the most likely candidate to go from. Hold up. Just thinking about the Philadelphia Eagles and how crappy the NFC East is. No, I'm going to ride with my take. Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think they will go from worst to first. Certainly a possibility, though.
I think they're going to stay at number 3 in this division. Houston's going to be last because they're just bad at this point.
In the words of Randall Cobb, they're a Fortune 500 company. Or wait. No. They're a startup. In Randall Cobb's presser when he came to Green Bay, he said, yeah, so basically the Packers are a Fortune 500 company and the Houston Texans are a startup, which is essentially like he didn't say it to be mean, but like it came off that way.
Yeah. Well, and you got all the problems with Deshaun Watson right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm not touching that subject.
Yeah. There's But then you come down to the Colts and the Titans. Who are you choosing? Who are you choosing to win it?
Could the Carson Wentz injury? Maybe the Colts they're going to start.
He's
off
out of his
slow.
boot.
Yeah,
him and Quentin Nelson are both out of boots. So
wow, it's going to be. My money is on the. I saw a lot of people like I watch the Herd, every afternoon or whatever, and I see Colin Cowherd picking the Colts, and I thought, interesting, because I think the Titans defense. You are okay. The Titans defense is not great. It's not great. Mike Vrabel's a defensive guy. He's a tough-minded coach. I think he's a great coach. The offense is not going to be the issue. We know Julio Jones is there. Obviously, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Tannehill's solid. We know the offense is going to be fine. The question is the defense. You lose Jadeveon Clowney. They don't really have any other star-studded guy. I mean, the only guy who I can think of who I remotely think it could be a star is Adoree Jackson, who's super fast at corner. Malcolm Butler, is he still there?
Malcolm Butler.
No, he signed in
don't
Arizona.
think so.
He went to Arizona.
He did go
That's
to
where
Arizona.
he went.
Hey,
Arizona.
but name you're forgetting. They picked up Bud Dupree.
Pittsburgh.
Bud Dupree,
Yeah, I mean,
Janoris Jenkins is always solid too. I mean,
yeah.
let's see, who else do they have there? I mean, I don't know how much else they have, but I mean, that's a solid starting point, but it's not gonna win you games for having two names. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I think the Colts defense wins championships, right? I still believe that. Even though I think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest player to ever walk this planet, I think defense wins championships in the end. And the Colts defense, it might not have a ton of names. Other than Darius Leonard, it might not have a ton of names. Or Darius Leonard
Buckner,
and DeForest
Xavier
Buckner.
Rhodes.
Yeah, that's right. So those, other than those guys, it might not have a bunch of guys, but they are very, very well coached. If Carson Wentz can stay healthy, yeah, you have Jonathan Taylor, speedster, Marlon Mack, Naheem Hines, again, T.Y. Hilton, still there, veteran player, still very good. Pittman has wheels. Paris Campbell has wheels.
Yeah.
You know, again, they have got Jack Doyle, Mo Alley Cox, a couple decent tight ends. Quentin Nelson, their offensic line is stacked. They are very good.
I was going to say they have a top 3 offensive line in all football. So
I think Frank Reich he's a very good coach. He looks like a sitcom father. He really does. I mean, I don't know if you he gives me Steve Martin vibes. I really believe that. But that's close, man. Titans, Colts. It all hinges on Carson Wentz's health. Tennessee Titans defense.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's going to come down to.
That's a pick 'em. I can't pick it. I really can't pick it. I thought it was Tennessee going into this. Now I don't know because there are question marks for both sides. But we'll just. I mean, you think Colts? I
do think the Colts are going to come out on top. I think it's going to go Colts and Titans, and then Jags, and then Texans.
I think the Colts are more complete. I think I'm with you there. AFC West? You just made AFC West?
Yep. Last AFC set.
So we know the Raiders are going to win it. No, okay. Chiefs. We know the Chiefs are going to be there. Chiefs are probably coming out of the AFC. We all know that. Okay.
Chargers.
Yeah, Justin Herbert is sick. Like, Justin Herbert might be the first quarterback in a while, not in a while, but in a few years where I've said, like, dude, like that guy, when Aaron Rodgers leaves, whenever that is, he might be my favorite player because he doesn't talk a lot of shit. He just plays, and he plays well.
Yep.
Like, I remember watching him, like, on Monday night. Actually, his first game when Tyrod Hill, unfortunately, Tyrod Taylor. The lung, he got the collapsed lung from his doctor, his own team doctor. Yeah. I felt bad for him. Herbert had to come in like he did not know this was going to happen, and he dueled with Patrick Mahomes. They lost, but they dueled. And then I saw
they just fell into bad coaching situations last year. I mean, that's literally what it came down to. They were in a lot of close games. It's just they didn't have the situational football that they needed to be done.
They blew the lead against New Orleans on Monday night, and I remember he made a play going out to his right. And I think it was Keenan Allen on the right side of the end zone, kind of close to the pylon, maybe zoomed it in there. I mean, it was an absolute seed. And it's like I remember, like, I think I got up off my couch. I was like, whoa, like it always amazes me when like young guys, I get it. There's no crowd in the Superdome, but still Monday Night Football, everyone's watching, to go out and do that. I think he had most passing touchdowns for a rookie of 31. most 300-yard games with 8. Second with 4,300 yards and counting for a rookie. Unbelievable. He's going to be a stud for a long time. Eckler, bell cow, Keenan Allen, probably the best. Him and Devontae Adams, those are the two best route runners in the game. Mike Williams, I think doesn't get talked about. He's one of the best jump ball guys in the game. He's a big time player. They lost Hunter Henry. They got Jared Cook, who's a little older but still very solid. The defense, if Derwin James can stay healthy, man, you got Chris Harris, who's been around a while, good veteran. Joey Bosa, stud. So they have players.
They picked up Linval Joseph too.
Yep. I saw a lot of him, and there's a lot of him. I saw him a lot in the NFC. We both did. We saw him a lot in the NFC North.
Yeah, we did.
So again, stay healthy. That's it. That's what it is for every team. But Herbert's the guy. The offense is going to be there. I think they could push for a wild card. I really believe that if they're healthy. Again,
absolutely.
If the Brandon Staley defense works out, if he brings that over from LA to LA, it's going to be interesting. And then we'll go to the Broncos. I so badly want to believe in the Broncos. I think their fan base is
great.
Too. I like watching games. I've never been to Denver, but I like watching games at Mile High.
Time.
I think the stadium is really neat. It's cool. Denver, it's cool. I like Von Miller. Bradley
Chubb.
Yeah.
Picked
Justin
up Kyle
Simmons.
Fuller.
Kyle Fuller. Sorry about that. But Vic Fangio is a fantastic defensive coach. Trust me, I know it. Playing the Bears and again seeing the Niners in the postseason a few times and kind of dueling with them. I've seen a lot of Vic Fangio. You have he fantastic defensive coach. They are hurting themselves by not playing Teddy Bridgewater. I know John Elway is trying to hold on to his pride. I know they're trying to.
They're pulling a Bears when they tried to play Trubisky so much, and they tried believing in him, and it just didn't work out. And that's what they're doing with Drew Lock right now. I mean,
I understand what they're doing. I get it. I know what they're trying to do, and I commend them for trying to hold on to it. They draft him. They want to see if it works out. Just go with Teddy. Teddy is a proven winner as a backup. What didn't he go? He went 5-0 or 6-0 with the Saints. Yep. He was a Pro Bowler with the Vikings. It was a tough situation in Carolina when he was there. McCaffrey got hurt. Young defense, playing against the Buccaneers twice a year. Saints, tough. Yeah. So he has a defense. I think Melvin Gordon and the young running back from North Carolina, I can't remember his name, but they have some play. Cortland Sutton, Pro Bowl. Judy's a stud. I got him, in the later rounds last year. Stud. KJ Hamler, Noah Fant. They have players.
Solid.
They have players. I want to believe in Denver. I really do, and I'm going to be pulling for them because I enjoy rooting for certain teams just because I want to see if they can, pan out. But I don't know if they start Drew Lock, they're not going anywhere. But if they start Teddy Bridgewater, I like their chances. I really do. I like their chances to make a wild card. I think they can push it.
To make a push, it's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many good teams in the AFC.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a dogfight. The Raiders. So last year, I remember they played the New York Jets in the same week that they played them 2 years ago, and they had lost to the Raiders. I was believing in the Raiders 2 years ago. I thought they could make the playoffs because I just wanted to see John Gruden go and Derek Carr. I like them. They didn't 2 years ago. Last year they played the Jets the same time they played them 2 years ago, and they won. It was just like a little quirk in the schedule where I thought, okay, well, if they win this game, could they maybe get on a roll? They weren't able to do it 2 years ago. Could they do it this year? Remember they beat the Jets on the crazy final second or whatever because the Jets maybe possibly threw the game. But I was like, okay, hey, they beat the Chiefs earlier in the year. They beat the Jets. I mean, could they do it? No, they didn't. They blew it again. And I want to believe I love John Gruden. If there is one human being that is football, it's John Gruden. He is the funniest coach of all time, mic'd up. I believe it. I don't know. I like Derek Carr, one of 3 quarterbacks to have consecutive seasons of 4,000 yards passing, 20 plus touchdowns and less than 5 picks. The other 2 guys, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. So Derek Carr is a stud. Darren Waller, I think, is going to be the second best tight end in the game this year. I believe it. They got Yannick Ngakoue from the Ravens in free agency. They got Casey Hayward from the Chargers. They got Kenyon Drake from the Cardinals. They have Josh Jacobs as a bell cow. They have players. Again, it's the same thing, I think, kind of with Denver, but obviously they have the same thing as Denver, but they already have their quarterback figured out. Just got to put it together. If they can beat Kansas City once, man, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. So we'll just.
I don't know. That's going to be tough. I think it's going to go Chiefs, Chargers. I'll put the Raiders 3 and the Broncos 4. I don't want that to happen. Because I want to see Fangio succeed, but
they might roll with lock.
See it happening. Yeah.
I just can't believe, like, I mean, the only reason they're like, I'm like, why would you trade for Teddy Bridgewater? But at the same time, like, how have you not announced a starter at this point? Which tells me I think it's Drew Lock. I think they're going to go with Drew Lock because they want to see what's going to happen. If he doesn't pan out, go with Teddy. Because John Elway's done a pretty good job of attracting free agent quarterbacks. Some guy named Peyton Manning decided to show up there and win a Super Bowl and MVP, all that stuff. So we'll see. I think you're right though. That's solid picks for the standings. Move to the NFC. We do everything. Yeah. NFC. Should we do that? We got about for all the people watching, our shows are going to run for about an hour at most. 10 minutes at the least because we're lazy. Not really. So NFC. You want to start? Where do you want to start? North? Should we go to the North?
You want to save it?
Yeah, well, we'll save our division for the end because we all know who's going to win that. East. We'll go NFC.
Let's start with the East.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Start with the East.
So this has been my chair here. Sorry. I'm rolling with Washington. I'm rolling with
Washington as well.
The Dallas Cowboys have this thing. They have this. If it's a curse, I don't know what it is. But they have, and I love Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy coached my Green Bay Packers for 13 plus seasons, Super Bowl, 8 division championships. I love the guy. He'll be a Packer Hall of Famer. He should be. I love him, and he's a great coach. And it's not his fault. I don't know if it's the Jerry Jones curse, what it is. The defense always sucks. I mean, hopefully the addition of Dan Quinn will make him better because Dan Quinn is a very good defensive coach. We found that out in Seattle. But I don't think the Dallas Cowboys offense is as good as the Washington football team's defense. That's how I look at it.
I would agree with that. I feel like Dak threw a lot last year when he was playing because they were trailing. And that's just a tough situation to be in.
Yeah. Zeke, I think Zeke will be better. He had his worst career season. CD Lamb's going to be a stud. Amari Cooper is going to be good again. Gallup is solid. Not sure if they have a reliable tight end. I know they have Dalton Schultz and who else?
Blake Jarwin.
Yeah, Jarwin and Schultz and whatever. That could be a great fantasy name. Jarwin Schultz. Sounds like a law firm. No, actually, no. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis sounds like a law firm, but that's whatever. Their defense is just terrible. And it's going to be better, I'm sure. Washington, I think Fitzmagic is going to be big time. I really believe it. I know you can't bet a lot on him because he'll throw some picks and he'll throw like for 500 yards and 5 picks and 5 touch, whatever. I believe in it. I think Terry McLaurin. Why am I forgetting the other? They're both from Ohio State. Curtis Samuel. Both those guys. They're going to be great. I mean, I had Terry McLaurin in fantasy last year. Big time player.
Antonio Gibson's a solid back.
I was thinking about the running. I mean, he's going to have another. I think he had He led them in rushing yards. I know that last year. I think he has a chance to get over 1,000 yards. I believe that. Um, the defense, though, I mean, Chase Young, Jonathan Allen,
Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat. I remember them. I know Dak wasn't playing, but they embarrassed the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day last year. I remember it. It was unbelievable. And Ron Rivera is a Super Bowl coach. He's been there. He's been a good coach in this league for a while. I believe in Washington. I think they're more complete. And again, they're not as wealthy as the Dallas Cowboys. They're not as sexy of a team to talk about. They don't have the greatest fan base. They're going to win this division. I believe it. I know the New York Giants are going to be interesting. It all hinges on Daniel Jones. How do you feel about the Giants?
So much to question about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just don't know enough about Joe Judge and the way that he coaches.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they can have a squad
Mm-hmm.
like Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
You just picked up Kenny Galladay.
Oh yeah.
I mean
Slayton, Rudolph.
Yes.
Saquon's back. Yeah.
I mean, they have a solid offense. It's just what do you got to show for defensive side? I mean, you got Jabril Peppers,
Blake Martinez.
Blake Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
Bradbury's not terrible.
Yeah. Didn't he lead? I think was he a Pro Bowler last year? I know he led he was it pass breakups? I think he was top 2 or maybe the best in the league at pass breakups. He was solid.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty good. But
and
Leonard Williams.
Yes, yeah.
Williams.
Didn't they get who's the guy from Dexter Lawrence? Is that who they got from Clemson? Is that who that was?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
they can be good. I don't know how Joe Judge is going to be as a coach when it comes down to those primetime situations.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a report out there that a couple players retired, I think a couple days ago, and they're like, is it because of Joe Judge? Kelvin Benjamin voiced his disapproval of Joe Judge after Joe Judge cut him, or I think they asked him to.
They asked him to lose weight.
Yes, or something like that. Yeah.
And he gained weight.
Yeah. So that was not great. And I think Joe Judge is a good coach, and I understand. I could see why players would love to play for him, but also I see why people are kind of pissed at him and they don't like him. There were rumors about him getting into a fight with one of the offensive line coaches or whatever. Was it last year? I think
that was last year. Yeah.
So I don't know what's happening out there in East Rutherford, but question mark over there with the coaching. If Daniel Jones plays well, though, man, they can win the division too. That's interesting. I like Washington. I think Washington is the safest bet, which is funny because Fitzmagic's the quarterback, but I think they are the safest bet.
Yeah, I think Washington, Dallas, Giants, Eagles.
And again, with the Cowboys, it's the curse. I'm just going to call it the Jerry curse. NFC South. Want to go there?
Yeah.
Buccaneers. Pains me to say it.
Yes.
Buccaneers. We know that they're bringing back all their starters. Brady coming back off of his 7th Super Bowl.
That's not a hard one to pick. If you want the safest bet for.
I thought about it. No. And then I think New Orleans Saints.
I don't know,
make
dude.
the playoffs, dude.
I don't know.
So what's happening with Michael Thomas? I think he might want out. That's number one.
I think he voiced he does want out.
Will Lutz is going to be out the first few weeks. Kicker, Pro Bowl kicker. David Onyemata suspended 6 games, starting defensive tackle. Trey Hendrickson signs with Cincinnati Bengals. Von Bell left either last year or a few years ago. I can't remember. I've heard there could be a suspension coming from Marshawn Lattimore. Don't know. I've seen that. I don't know if that's possible or not. Patrick Robinson, an 11-year veteran, I think retired just today or yesterday. Jameis Winston. We could talk about the quarterback situation. Jameis Winston is hot and cold. Taysom Hill. We're gonna I don't know. Jameis Winston, I think he should be the starter. Hopefully he's, tones down the interceptions. I think Taysom Hill's a better running quarterback, better wildcat, all that stuff. The defense, you still have Cam Jordan. If Marshawn Lattimore isn't suspended, that's great. You have Demario Davis. You have some players. But they're not going to okay. They can make the games with Tampa Bay competitive. I could see that. I don't know. Carolina's not. I think they're still rebuilding. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Sam Darnold. That Robbie Anderson from DJ Moore. I think he's at 1,000 yards each of the last 2 years. Healthy McCaffrey
is going to be.
Mm-hmm. They have some young. Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin on the defensive side. They still have some work to do. I think the offensive line is getting a little better. I know that that was a makeshift offensive line last year. But I don't know how Tampa all the way for sure.
Yeah, I don't even know how the Falcons are going to be, to be honest.
I forgot about the Falcons. I feel bad for Matt Ryan because I actually think if Matt Ryan could win a Super Bowl somewhere, I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's top 10 in a lot of categories. He's a former MVP. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He's been in the Super Bowl, obviously. We know what happened there.
They have Mike Davis as their starting running back right now, though.
Julio Jones is gone. They got Kyle Pitts.
Pitts, he's a stud. He's a stud. And so
they lost Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley, he's not the player he once was a few years ago. So he put up, I think, 8 or 9 touchdowns. So the Falcons are going to be a mess. And I'm hoping Matt Ryan can end up in a situation where he can win one more time. I think he's 36. But he's been a good quarterback in this league for a while. And again, I hope he can get one more shot because if he can win a Super Bowl somewhere, however he does it, man, I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I believe it.
I do too.
That was quick. NFC West. And again, we have. I didn't time us. I said people out there who are listening before the show. I told Travis prior to this, we were going to time the show because we can't go over an hour because I don't know how much.
15 minutes.
Yeah. So just 15 minutes. Just a little alert there. But NFC West, most interesting, most competitive division in football. No question about it. You can pick any team. You go. I'll put the ball in your court here because I don't know.
I think the most complete team is going to be the Rams. I'll put them at 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I'll probably go 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals.
Wow. That is interesting.
The 49ers, they got Nick Bosa back. George Kittle's going to be healthy. The only question mark is the quarterback situation. You play CJ or do you play Jimmy G? I
agree. You mentioned Trey Lance.
Or Trey Lance.
Yeah, no.
CJ.
Hey, CJ Beathard. No. He's been there for a while. You think the Niners are going to go number 2?
I do think the Niners are going to go number 2.
Okay. I like the Rams. I think the Cam Akers injury hurts It hurt. It's. I want to say they can still win. I don't know if they're Super Bowl contenders. I think they are because of the defense, but that hurts. The Cam Akers thing hurts. They need to go get Todd Gurley or Adrian Peterson.
This is basically almost the same running back group though that they had prior. So it's not like you're going to be seeing anything new. They still ran the ball well. Yeah. They have a solid offensive line. They're going to protect Stafford. Stafford can throw the ball.
Oh yeah,
they still got Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. They got Higbee, who's a solid tight end. You got all the different weapons for him, and so their defense is very, very solid.
Donald,
There's nothing.
Ramsey. Yep.
I mean, yeah. So
Stafford's. I mean, I think you can make the case Stafford's the most underrated quarterback in NFL history. I really believe that. Somehow Vince Young has more Pro Bowl appearances than, again, Pro Bowl is a celebrity contest, but still amazing how Vince Young has more Pro Bowl appearances than Matthew Stafford. The Rams are going to win the division. I think Seattle comes in second because I just somehow, some way, man, they find a way to win. Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, especially on primetime. If you have to go to Seattle in primetime, I will pray for you because I talk about the Cowboys being like a cursed team. I don't know how the Seattle Seahawks do it, but when they're at home, they just find ways to win. They just do it, and it's really amazing to watch. So I think Seattle goes in. I think LA, Seattle both win double-digit games. Arizona is really interesting. Probably the most interesting team in the game, I think.
Absolutely.
You get JJ Watt. Chandler Jones is back. I think I heard a report that he wants a trade or something if he's there. I mean, they drafted Isaiah Simmons last year. Very solid. They get Zaven Collins from Tulsa. They lose Patrick Peterson.
Budda Baker.
Budda Baker might get some Defensive Player of the Year votes. I believe that. I think he's a very solid. I think he could be the best safety in the league, quite honestly.
Yes.
AJ Green. Give me some other receivers.
AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, DeAndre.
Kirk's solid. I mean, not gonna blow you away, but
yeah. Andy Isabella's got speed. And just for the people out there, I did not forget DeAndre Hopkins. This is the first episode. I have forgotten a few players. Have not forgotten about DeAndre Hopkins. Just wanted to make that clear. Not like I'm Dory. I have short-term memory loss. But look, they have. I'm really fired up. Again, this is the third year for Kingsbury. Bring that Texas Tech offense over with a mobile quarterback. That excites me. That excites the hell out of me. They have Chase Edmonds. They got James Conner, remember, in free agency. So I think that's not a top 10 duo, not going to blow you away, but those guys are very serviceable in my eyes. We'll see if Larry Fitz comes back. I love Larry Fitzgerald. I have a couple goats at receiver quickly. Megatron, physically, obviously we saw him get in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Congrats, Megatron. Physically, talent-wise, freak, greatest ever. In terms of the resume, Jerry Rice, obviously. But in terms of I didn't want to say the most complete. But Larry Fitzgerald, other than Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer for a short time and early career for Kyler Murray, think about the quarterbacks he's had. Drew Stanton, Ryan Lindley, Matt Leinart.
He's gone through a lot of tough years.
Oh yeah, and he's
kept up
a lot of categories. And he is certainly a double-digit time Pro Bowler. One of the cool. I mean, I've never met him on the record, but again, you hear a lot. Everyone loves him. Everyone loves Larry Fitz, Larry Legend. And again, I hope he comes back to Arizona. I think he's the GOAT because he also has the physical abilities, I believe. He stays in great shape, but also the numbers he's put up with those quarterbacks. But I hope he comes back. But I think LA wins the division, Seattle in second. I think Arizona comes in third. I think the Niners. I think the quarterback question mark is going to hurt them.
Really?
So there. I think the defense is, no Richard Sherman. DeForest Buckner was given away a couple years ago. No Saleh. I think that's underrated. That's an underrated move that's going to hurt them. They're going to run the ball. Great. They're going to run the ball. Again, you have Kittle. You have Deebo Samuel. Ayuk. They have good players, but the quarterback thing is going to hurt them, I think. That's why I think they're going to finish fourth. And probably the winner of the division is probably going to have 10 wins, 11 wins max.
Yeah, it's too tough a division. It's hard to tell, but I think the 49ers are going to find ways to win games.
Are you kidding? Sorry, luckily my background is up. My brother's coming in from football practice, but ignore him. Well, actually, you can't even see him, so no big deal. I don't even know why I'm worried about it. But NFC North. My favorite division, Packers. Packers,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Now here's the question mark. Do you go with the Bears or the Vikings?
Lions. I'm going with the Lions. No, okay.
Right.
Look, Vikings. I'm going to say the Vikings only because I think that Dalvin Cook. We know Dalvin Cook is a top 4 running back. Kirk Cousins a couple of years ago was getting MVP votes. Certainly, I think midway through the season he was, a gamer. I think he's certainly still very good. Justin Jefferson. I think Adam Thielen's he's getting a little older, but still a great number 2.
He has to slow down.
Yeah. Irv Smith. The defense is healthy now. They went with a bunch of young DBs last year. Jeff Gladney, who was cut, right? Didn't you just recently tell me he was cut or released? Or maybe not. Maybe he just got hurt. He was cut.
I think he was cut.
Mm-hmm. He was cut. Okay, per one of my sources, he was cut.
Yeah.
Domestic assault. Or domestic assault, whatever. But
I mean, that defense is still Danielle Hunter. I mean, you got Eric Kendricks, Harrison Smith,
Anthony Barr,
picked up Patrick Peterson.
Do you say Danielle Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I think I'm going deaf in one ear, quite honestly. No, I'm kidding. Who knows? But no, look, Mike Zimmer's a fantastic defensive coach. If the offense, it's health. That's all it is. If Kirk Cousins doesn't let COVID get in his way, Dalvin Cook's a beast. Jefferson's a beast. We'll see. The defense in Minnesota for ever since Zimmer's been there has been very good, I think. We'll just have to see. They have, again, like you said, a lot of great veterans. Kendricks, Barr, Harrison Smith, Hunter. They have great pieces. Their home field advantage is great. Like that in Seattle or that in New Orleans or Green Bay or Kansas City. They have a great home field advantage. Just got to use it. The Bears have got to get Justin Fields on the field as soon as possible. That's all it is. I think they're going to have not a rough year. Like if they start him immediately, I do not think they're going to have that rough of a year. I think they'll be under 500, but I don't think it'll be that terrible. If they start Andy Dalton for the first 4 or 5 weeks, it's going to be a rough year.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. I think their defense is still good, but they got to hurry up and get Justin on the field before the defense kind of runs out of steam and guys get old. And I know they're only 30, but guys like Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, Trevathan, Robert Quinn, they're on the wrong side of 30. Jimmy Graham is over 30. The offensive line is getting better. You're the expert.
So they drafted Tevin Jenkins, right? Mm-hmm. They're trying to put him at left tackle. Mm-hmm. He's originally a right tackle, and he's also injured right now. Yeah. So that's the big question mark as to our offensive line right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're going to stick with, I think, they're going to stick with James Daniels at left guard.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Cody Whitehair for the center. Alex Bars, he's shown he can be very tough, but haven't seen enough of him. So that's going to be a question mark. And then I think it's Ifedi's going to play right tackle.
Yeah.
And he's going to move out to right tackle.
Yeah, and look, once again, if Justin Fields doesn't work out, this guy over my shoulder, what shoulder? This shoulder right here. He can sling a pigskin a quarter mile. But look, I think Fields is going to be a stud. I'm a Packer fan. I've seen a lot of Bears turmoil. I'm not hating it. I'm just saying that's what I've seen. I think they hit on this one. Whether Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace are there to watch it, we'll see. But I think this guy is good. I think he has the chance. You know how Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes, Russell, they have the ability to take over a game even if their team kind of sucks?
Yep.
Like Fields, I think, is one of those guys. Like kind of like LeBron James in the finals against the Warriors. I think he can put the team on his back. We'll see. I know Allen Robinson's going to be gone. Is it last year? Is that what he wants? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. The hard part is that they didn't make any push to try and sign him last year,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
was the time to sign Allen Robinson. And
Mhm.
so I feel like he's starting to get fed up with all these talks and stuff like that, and the Bears aren't really doing anything to try and keep Allen Robinson here.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a big question mark to see what happens in the middle of the season if we sign him. If we don't sign him by the middle of the season, he's going to be gone.
I think it all
That's
hinges
just
on
how it
Fields.
works.
I think it all hinges on Fields.
That
If he likes
too.
him, certainly. Montgomery's a
Is he?
stud, though.
Yes.
Yeah. They have, you know.
Tariq Cohen's coming back.
Yeah. Mooney, Darnell Mooney breakout season. At least that's what the folks at Pro Football Focus are saying. So I think the Bears finished third. So we'll see. But I think Packers 1, Vikings 2. I think the Vikings, again, like you said, I think they have the veterans. I'm just trying to think if they can make a playoff berth or not. I think so.
Possibly. It's gonna be tough with that NFC West.
We can break that down later on or next show.
We got
but
a couple minutes.
Yeah. It's the Packers. They're gonna. I think again they're gonna win. I really believe they're gonna win 12, 13, 14 games. Aaron Rodgers is pissed. We all know. Well, and actually, no, he's not pissed. I think he's all in. He's happy. Again, I am the Packers. I know everything. Not really. You never know what's going on behind the scenes. But I think LaFleur, he's off to like one of the greatest starts ever for a head coach. I'm pretty sure. 26-6 or something, whatever the record is. He's only lost to one divisional foe, Vikings, last year. They have, Devontae Adams, I think best receiver in the game. Aaron Jones, I think you can make the case, top 6 back. AJ Dillon's a good backup. The offensive line is very solid. Bakhtiari very well, I think is the best left tackle in the game. It all hinges on the defense. I don't think there's any question the Packers are going to win the division. It's just, can they go down to Tampa Bay in January and beat them? I think that's what it ends up. I think not to spoil my prediction here, but I think it's Packers Buccaneers in the championship game. Did the Packers do enough? Hopefully the defense is better, because the last time we saw the Green Bay Packers, people can bitch and cry about the Matt LaFleur play call, like make that as a reason for why the Packers lost. Like, you have to stop Tom Brady at some point, and they had a chance to stop him, and they got called Kevin King, pass interference. They got burned before the half, so defense was clearly the worst issue, and they addressed that with Eric Stokes, cornerback, speedster, great ball skills, or he's going to have great ball skills. Again, at linebacker and Devondre Campbell in free agency. Rashawn Gary going to have a breakout year. Packers are going to be there. It's just, can they beat the freakishly freaky Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady? I don't know, going to be tough, but we'll see. With that said, are we done? Can we end this?
I think so.
What do you think? Should we have? I know people are going to be watching this. Should we have some sort of close off or some sort of sign off? No, just end it. Yeah, who cares?
I think we're good.
Yeah, thanks for everyone. Or thanks everyone for watching. But if no one watched, who cares? I had fun.
I had a blast.
And there's more on the way. There are more episodes on the way.
If you see this, share it with people. Let people know. I mean, that's about.
If you don't care, great. The more the merrier. All right, brother. Well, we'll get you back episode 2 later this week.
Sounds good.
Possibly. All right, brother. We'll talk.
Talk to you.